You build artificial intelligence. Don't make me laugh, kid. That's how it started. Those words thrown across a classroom with the kind of sting only a teacher's voice can carry. Picture this, a marble-floored academy where every desk gleamed with brand new MacBooks, Apple Watches flashed in the front row, and I sat in the corner with a beat-up laptop that had seen better days. My name's Malik Carter, 12 years old, scholarship kid, the only black face in that advanced computer science class. And that day, my teacher, Mr. Bradford, made sure I remembered exactly where he thought I belonged. He announced the semester project like it was some kind of sacred decree. You'll build a chatbot, real AI, not some toy. Half your grade depends on it. Kids groaned, some laughed nervously. Trevor Golden Boy in the front row bragged his dad's company hired AI developers who'd give him pointers. Bradford's face lit up like Christmas morning. Excellent, Trevor. That's the initiative I like to see. Then his eye slid right over me. Some of you, well, simpler work will be acceptable given your circumstances. The way he lingered on circumstances made every nerve in my body tighten. I packed my notes carefully when class ended. He called after me, voice dripping with condescension. Remember, my door is always open if it's too much for you, Malik. No shame in admitting your limits. I forced a smile. Thanks, sir, but I think I'll manage. What he didn't know was that I'd been coding since I was 8. Not with expensive tutors or shiny gear, but in a cramped apartment sitting beside my grandmother while the smell of cornbread filled the kitchen. She had worked on early AI systems at a government lab back in the 80s, though most folks never believed her. She taught me Python when other kids were playing video games. She taught me debugging while others were glued to cartoons. She taught me to believe in my own mind when no one else did. When I told her about the project, she didn't flinch, just smiled that secret smile of hers. Well, baby, looks like it's time to open those old boxes in the closet. Out came dusty notebooks, floppy disks, yellowed papers, with diagrams of neural networks scribbled in her handwriting. She laid them out like treasure maps. The world doubted me once, too. Let's make sure they don't doubt you. So for 3 weeks, while my classmates bragged about parental help and expensive software, I sat at that old table in our apartment coding deep into the night. My grandma guided me through concepts I'd only glimpsed in textbooks, LSTMs, attention mechanisms, contextual memory. And when I finally pressed submit 5 weeks before the deadline, I felt a rush of pride so sharp it made my hand shake. But Bradford, he didn't see pride. He saw a threat. The next day, in front of the whole class, his tablet pinged with my early submission. Mr. Carter, he sneered. You submitted your project already. Heads turned. I nodded, trying to stay calm. Yes, sir, I finished. His lips curled. Finished. The assignment, I said, would take 8 weeks. Impossible. Stand up. He pulled my project onto the big screen. A chat window popped up. He typed, "Hello." The bot replied instantly. "Hello, I'm Ava, your adaptive assistant. What would you like to discuss today?" The room went dead quiet. Bradford's jaw tightened. He hammered the keyboard with harder questions. Recursion neural nets, probability trees. Ava answered smoothly, weaving explanations like silk. Some kids gasped. Trevor muttered, "This is really good." Bradford's face flushed crimson. "Where did you get this? I wrote it," I said. He barked a laugh that felt like a slap. "You expect me to believe a 12-year-old from Riverside Heights wrote graduate-level code? No. This is plagiarism." I stammered. "Check the documentation. I explained every line fabricated," he snapped. "Memorized from some GitHub repo. I've seen it before. You think you can fool me?" 30 years I've taught, and I know exactly what you are. He almost said it. What you are. but stopped just short. The whole class felt the word hanging in the air anyway. That night, a notice appeared on my locker, mandatory hearing conference room B. By morning, kids were already whispering phones out. Through the glass walls, I saw at Bradford, sitting like a judge, 5 teachers arrayed behind him. They grilled me, demanded I explain code line by line. I did. I broke down tokenization processes, contextual buffers, even JWT authentication. One math teacher actually nodded, impressed, but Bradford scoffed louder with every answer. Then I mentioned my grandmother. She taught me this. She worked on AI decades ago. Laughter rippled through the room. Bradford smirked. Perhaps in the cafeteria, Malik. Certainly not in development. My face burned. Outside, kids were filming. Admit it now, Bradford said coldly, or face expulsion. Before I could speak, the door opened. Principal Rivera stepped in. She dismissed the crowd with a glare, then turned to Bradford. A public interrogation of a 12-year-old, without my approval. Mr. Bradford, my office. Now. The whispers only grew after that. Videos spread, memes popped up with my face captioned, "Copy-paste genius." Kids laughed in the hall. Even those who'd once believed me now looked unsure. But I wasn't alone. Jasmine, another scholarship kid, found me by my locker. "I know you didn't cheat," she whispered, "and I think the principal knows it too." 2 days later, the showdown came. My grandmother walked into the conference room in her best Sunday dress, leather portfolio in hand. Bradford didn't bother to stand, but Principal Rivera did. My grandma introduced herself firmly. "It's Ms. Carter, never married." "And yes, I understand perfectly why I'm here. You've accused my grandson of theft because you can't imagine he could be brilliant." Bradford rolled his eyes. "We have evidence." "Show me," she said calmly. He projected my code, waving his arms. "This sophistication alone proves he didn't write it." Grandma leaned in, adjusting her glasses. "This tokenization process, I developed its foundation at NASA in 1984. Would you like the patent number?" She slid a document across the table. Rivera looked it up on her phone. "Real patent, real name." Bradford stuttered. "Anyone could forge." She cut him off with a laugh, then explained the difference between a standard RNN and an LSTM. "What's the formula for the forget gate silence?" He couldn't. "Interesting," she said, turning to the principal. "He claims my grandson's work is too advanced, yet can't explain the math himself." And just like that, the balance shifted. Rivera's eyes hardened. "We'll hold a demonstration. Public. If Malik can code live, this matter is settled." Word spread like wildfire. By Friday, the auditorium was packed. Parents, students, even local reporters squeezed in. My grandma sat front row with 3 of her old colleagues from NASA, each wearing their faded visitor badges. Bradford stood at the side of the stage, pale and silent. I walked out with my laptop, heart pounding. "This is Ava," I said. "But before I show her, I want to show how she was built." Side by side on the projector, my modern code and my grandmother's yellowed notes appeared, identical equations, just different eras. Gasps filled the room. One NASA guest even stood up. I worked on those algorithms with her. This boy isn't cheating, he's continuing a legacy. Then I began typing. Bradford wanted me to add a new feature live. So today, Ava will become multilingual. Fingers flew, code scrolled. 15 minutes later, Ava switched seamlessly between English, Spanish, and Mandarin, even picking up idioms. The crowd roared. My grandmother rose her voice, carrying over the applause. Marcus and I, she slipped, calling me by her old nickname, submitted this contextual memory algorithm to a journal. He'll be one of the youngest co-authors in history. Bradford's mouth opened and closed like a fish. Principal Rivera took the mic. "This is more than a grade. This is proof. Brilliance has no zip code, no color. Malik A+. and Mr. Bradford will be reviewing your record for bias immediately. But the real twist came from the back row. A man in a tailored suit stood. "Excuse me, I'm Daniel Bradford Harrison's son, CEO of Bradford Tech." All eyes snapped to him. He cleared his throat. "My father invited me here, said I'd see a fraud. What I've seen is genius and shameful prejudice. Malik, I'd like to offer you a consulting role at my company. Industry pay, not student wages." He turned to his father. "Dad, we need to talk." Harrison Bradford grabbed his briefcase and fled. By the time it was over, I wasn't just cleared. I was offered a NASA internship, a tech contract, and a spotlight I'd never asked for. Kids who once mocked me now lined up to shake my hand. Even Trevor, the golden boy, whispered I was wrong. "Can you maybe tutor me sometime?" I just smiled. "Sure." Months later, when my code was selected to help a Mars rover communicate more intuitively with mission control, I thought back to that first day. Someone like you, Bradford, had sneered. Yeah, someone like me. And here's the thing. This story isn't just mine. It's every kid told they're not good enough because of where they live, or what they look like, or who their family is. My grandmother said the best revenge isn't success, it's teaching others. So now, every Saturday, I run a free coding program at the community center. 50 kids and counting. Each one told somewhere along the way. That's impossible. Each one proving, like me, that impossible is just the starting point. So now I'll leave you with this. What do you think? Should a teacher with decades of prejudice be forgiven because that's just the way it was? Or should they be held accountable, even if it means tearing down their whole career? And what about the kids who never had a Gloria Carter fighting in their corner? How many bright minds did we lose? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your own stories. Because every time we speak out, we chip away at the walls built to hold people back. And maybe, just maybe, the next kid told you can't will hear us whisper back, yes, you can.